My friends, I'd like to address the tragic situation in Syria. Violence must end immediately, and a transition must begin now. There is no alternative to a political solution that will end the bloodshed, restore security and stability, and preserve the territorial integrity of Syria and the dignity and unity of its people. The UN has an important part to play in helping people commit to a political solution. Jordan will do all in its power to support the newly appointed representative of the Secretaries General of the UN and Arab League, Mr. Al-Akhdar Ibrahimi. The peoples of Jordan and Syria have long and deep ties. Since the current crisis erupted, over 200,000 Syrians have sought refuge in Jordan. This has put heavy pressure on our limited resources and our economy. Yet we as Jordanians have opened our arms, as we have many times in the past, for others in need. As we continue to shoulder this responsibility, international support is essential. And we are very grateful for the generous response of governments, international bodies, and dedicated UN organizations. The somber reality is, however, that more will be needed as the camps grow more crowded with vulnerable families and the cold desert winter approaches. So I call upon the countries of the United Nations to work together to prevent a humanitarian disaster. My friends, while we deal with these challenges, we must never lose focus on the crisis at the heart of the region. For almost 65 years, the Palestinian people have been the exception to the UN promise, the shelter of international law and human rights, except not yet. The dignity of living in freedom and security, except not yet. The right to self-determination, except not yet. Enough. As the Arab Spring demanded dignity, for all, so it demanded the end of exceptionalism. No single issue causes greater anger than to tell an entire people that when it comes to global justice, they don't count. The Arab summer cannot bear its full fruit until the Palestinian-Israeli conflict ends, and ends with a just peace and a Palestinian state living side by side with a secure Israel at peace with the entire region. Earlier this year in Amman, we succeeded in getting both sides back to the table for exploratory talks. Then positive traction stopped again. Illegal settlement building and unilateral actions continue, constituting direct threats to a negotiated peace. We are also extremely concerned by threats to Jerusalem and the sanctity of its Muslim and Christian holy sites. The Al-Aqsa Mosque and compound Al-Haram al-Sharif of East Jerusalem is under Hashemite custodianship, a special role recognized by the 1994 Jordan-Israel Peace Treaty and protected as occupied territory by international law. It is Islam's third holiest site, and its importance to 1.7 billion Muslims, 1/4 of the world's population, is similar to the importance of the Kaaba itself. Let me be absolutely clear. Any invasion or division of the site of Al-Masjid al-Aqsa would be viewed not only as a breach of Israel's obligations, but as a profound religious transgression. The international community must send a clear message that such a transgression or any attempt to erase the Arab, Muslim, or Christian identity of Jerusalem will not be tolerated. What is needed now is the full weight of our nations united. Neither the parties nor the world can afford continued hostility and insecurity. There may be a rare window of opportunity later this year after the US elections to achieve what both sides so urgently need: two states at peace, Palestine and Israel both secure, both free to look forward on the basis of a just, comprehensive, and final settlement. This has always been and will remain a foremost priority for Jordan. And let me say here, as I have said before, that the Arab world is seeking peace, real peace, diplomatic relations, economic relations, trade, investment, a new normality in peace where people are safe in their homes, where communities are able to build, and where cooperation helps the entire region prosper. All this has been on offer since 2002, over 10 years, under the Arab Peace Initiative, through which 57 Arab and Muslim countries have reached out collectively to Israel. And it is time for Israel to turn around, look to the future we share, and make a just and lasting peace with the Palestinians. My friends, almost 70 years ago, countries from every continent chose to come together in hopes of a world united in peace and respectful of all humankind. And after a bitter, destructive global war, the United Nations was the right step, the brave step. Today, almost 3 generations later, we have learned that it is not enough to make the right choices. We must also pursue effective action, not only as nations, but as nations united. We must take the right steps, the brave steps, now. Thank you.